Hello everyone and welcome back to the Butcher's Circus. Today I will be analyzing a match that I played just an hour or so ago against Noir Mouse. I think that's how you pronounce it in French. So this was a very high tier match that I did against him. I was playing a variant of the Halo comp, which it has like the mark, it has all that power, and he was playing this kind of DOT team that focuses on his regen. And what I'm gonna focus on here is try to analyze the plays from both players, because this is gonna be some high level stuff. So he goes first, which means he can act first, so he can get somewhat of an advantage. He decides to preemptively guard his antiquarian, which sounds like a very safe move. To be honest, because the Antiquarian is the centerpiece of his comp. Then I decide to go for a stun on his A-bomb, since I have a 100% hit chance, and just stunning him is good. There I was highlighting that with the Mark of Death I could go for it on the Abomination, but then he can just impale with the Shield Breaker and the Abomination is going to go to position 1, so that would be rather pointless. So what I decide to do is, I was unsure if I should mark the Man-at-Arms or push away the A-bomb, but I decide to push away the A-bomb, thinking that if I were able to get the daze, I could now shoot him and eventually be able to do some very good damage and prevent him from using the regen until the end of round 2, which would be great. First I decide to go for a Battle Ballad before I'm unable to do so, because I was expecting him to puncture my Jester. But he actually goes for a puncture on my Arbalest, and he gets it. It was a 70% chance because he only has one dodge trinket on his shield breaker, and so obviously I use the bola. I do a double pushback, which is great, because now his Antiquarian can't really use the regen anymore to try and stack it. So he goes for the Retribution on my Arbalest, clearly trying to focus her and getting, the Retribution. He has the Spike Shield, so he can do a lot of damage, and definitely have to watch out. But that opens up his low dodge, well, relatively low dodge Shield Breaker to a stunning blow. Keep in mind that I do have the Battle Ballad, so I have boosted accuracy for the rest of the match. So I got that stun, and now my opponent here doesn't clear the stun, which is, honestly a mistake, because I have the Bounty Hunter with 2 accuracy trinkets. I'm actually not running the finisher on this Bounty Hunter. I'm running both the net and the grappling mitts, which gives me plus 14 accuracy, and with the Battle Ballad it's more than enough. I decide to go for the ball. I take a meaty 13 riposte. That's like the maximum damage a riposte can do. And now I have a death blow chance onto that shield breaker. So now his A-bomb can finally act, he moves forward, and now I get a 60% death blow chance, but it fails. And now he gets to go first. So what was looking like a really good position for me is suddenly not looking that good anymore. His shield breaker is very safe, her dodge just went up. He's got 2 ages, all of his characters have regen and they're in good positions, so I mean, what the hell happened to this match? In the matter of 1 action, it looks like I'm actually not doing so good anymore. But don't worry, because I do have a plan up my sleeve. Here I'm thinking on what I want to do. Not completely sure, but what I do know is that I need to somehow focus that A-bomb. So I decided to mark him, because there is no way that the sniper shot would do enough damage without the mark. So I know that he's gonna use the regen anyway, but I'm hoping that with 4 attacks I can somehow wear him down. Keep in mind that the Mark of Death actually reduced his death blow res by 30%, and that's gonna matter a lot soon. You'll see why. And that minus 30% death blow resistance is it's a big impact, because it opens up a lot of options while you're playing. And now I go for a sniper shot, and surprisingly I actually don't do enough damage. I only roll for, I think was 21, only. Yeah, so right there I'm like wow, that's surprising. I really wanted to do enough damage, but then he actually decides to shift the guard, so I instantly shift my focus onto the Antiquarian, which once again is the centerpiece of his team. So I'm hoping to do that and then go for a nice Dirk stab on the shield breaker, and then finish off with maybe a finale on that Antiquarian, because I will have 3 turns of finale buff. which is gonna make my damage like 14 to 21. I do hit the shield breaker because I have the finisher, I have the battle ballad, I have almost everything. He decided to go for that beast vial, probably just to do some blight and pressure. He goes for a slam here, which has a pretty decent hit chance, and he hits and he does like a very high amount of damage, which is, you know, obviously terrible for me, how much damage he was able to do. And at this point, what I'm thinking is, well, if I click my Jester, he's gonna drop to death stall, so I'm gonna have to come up with some ingenious way of getting a death blow here without getting my Jester killed. So I put his A-bomb down to 0 HP. He can't click himself to regen anymore because, you know, he just acted to do that slam. He's still guarded, so that means that the only way I have of hitting him is using the Dirk Stab, unless I go for a stun on Man-at-Arms. So now he uses a bolster to try and buff up the dodge, probably of his shield breaker or the antiquarian. Both at the same time. I suppose he guessed that he wasn't gonna need the retribution right now, so he just goes for that instead. Right now I'm thinking that I want to stun the shield breaker, but I still have to deal with that antiquarian because she does have the finisher, and that's what's really scaring me. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick the bounty hunter and I'm gonna pull that antiquarian into a world of hurt, because if she doesn't use take cover right now, I can stun her, I can do a lot of things to her. So yeah, he's gonna feel intimidated and he's gonna pull back with take cover. And here I think to myself, well, I wanna stun that shield breaker, but between the H's and that bolster, now she has actually 60 dodge, which is, you know, it's a bit too much even with the battle ballad. So here I'm thinking like, well, what do I do? What do I do? I want to stun this shield breaker. I don't want her to kill my Jester. I don't want my Jester to die once he acts. So here I'm just not too sure what to do. And I just decide to heal my Jester. Here I'm hoping that whatever he doesn't do enough damage to drop me to death store once I act by next round. So he can't really kill me right away with the finisher. He actually misses me there, because if he had hit that impale was actually quite surprising how much damage it did. Yeah, if he had hit that impale, I would be at death stall right now. But now we get the 90% death blow chance onto that A-bomb. You know, the difference between the 60 and the 90. The 60 was what saved his shield breaker. And now he misses me and he decides to surrender, probably thinking like, oh no, I was unlucky, So this was the match that did get me to Darkest One. He surrendered, well, he missed the impale and the expose on my Jester, but that's understandable because they have 40 dodge. I mean, on my side, you have a team which is using accuracy buffs and that sort of stuff. On his side, he had no accuracy buffs, he only had a few trinkets, and he still managed to hit me with a very powerful slam, so he can't really count himself off as just massively unlucky, especially considering I didn't even get a crit with Arbalest this match. But yeah, that was a really nice match, and it was the one that got me to Darkest One, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.